And hello, everyone. Just 1 second while we double check all the platforms, all the lovely tech checks we get to do while going live. As people are entering the room here, we're letting everyone in from the waiting room. It's great to see everybody. And we're going to dive into the content for today around getting featured in the media in 2 weeks or less. And when you stick around to the end, you're going to get this number one tool that I love and use and all my clients use that I think is one of the best, fastest, easiest ways to start getting yourself into the media. So I always love to see who's here. We've had some people sharing from where they're tuning in from around the globe. So far, we have everyone from US to Canada. We've got LA to Texas and more people hopping in here. So yeah, feel free to share. And if you're watching this in the Facebook group or the YouTube channel, feel free to put in the comments where you are tuning in from. I love our global audience, and it's always so nice to see where people are in the world. I am based here in Southern California in sunny Santa Monica. And although I'm originally from the East Coast, Massachusetts, raised, and I've been out here for a very long time. So I've converted. I say I've gone native Californian. So it's great to see you all. And today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about your visibility, why it's important. We're going to talk about your positioning and your core differentiator and message clarity. We're going to talk about what I call visibility blind spots. And we're going to get into also the PR action plan, as well as getting you that tool and gift so you can actually get started on doing and using this information we're giving you to start getting results. So I'm doing more of a workshop style today. These masterclasses, we switch them up. So you never know what you're going to get when you come out. Sometimes we live stream, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have replays, sometimes we don't. This time we're doing a live stream, so we will have the replay available. So welcome if you're watching this on the replay. And yeah, as mentioned, we're going to get you that information at the end of this class. If you stick around, you'll get that gift on one of my favorite tools to get myself, my clients, friends, colleagues, anybody who wants to get into the media. And yes, so we are going to dive in here, and it looks like all is well on the tech checks. So yes, so beautiful. Thank you for being here today. And the first thing I would like to chat about is why, right? Why are we even here? Why do we want the visibility or the good PR and marketing? And I'd love to, if any of you have ideas around why that's important, feel free to put that in the chat or in the comments. And we can just talk a little bit first and foremost about why should we even care? So what I will say is after, as you know, I think everyone who's here knows, especially with my name on the screen here, that I'm Heather Burgett, your host. Most of you in my community already know. If you don't, my background is over 25 years in publicity and marketing and business. And I've helped countless small business owners, consultants, creatives step into the spotlight. I say from unknown underdogs to top celebrities. And so what I've noticed is there are certain patterns and trajectories that people go through when they are in this journey into greater visibility. So now that I've been here in the online space, growing my own online presence and business, I've learned even more in the past few years about what it takes to stand out in the global online marketplace. Like I say, my old business was analog, right? My PR agency that I had for 2 decades, a few years back, started moving into this online space where now it's like a whole new ball game, and it does change very quickly and consistently. However, there are certain things that are tried, true, and tested and stand the test of time. And that's what I focus on in my community is organic methods for you to raise your visibility, to get good PR and marketing, which is the thing that, so what are some of these whys, right? Raising your authority. What do you think of when you see somebody appearing in a mainstream media outlet, say a newspaper or a magazine or on a show, right? Instant authority and credibility goes up. So that's a big reason a lot of people want the greater visibility. Another reason, impact. right? As this community, if you're here, you are likely a purpose-driven, heart-centered, spiritually focused person in life, and you look at growing your business, and your spiritual path is a way to grow is actually through using spiritual principles in your business, right? So approaching your business from a very grounded, aligned, holistic place, and not just focusing on the strategy, right? Out there, it's pretty clear online, everyone is selling a strategy, but really what it comes down to first and foremost is the alignment piece. My background in the healing arts is something that set this up for me to teach in the way I do, because I realized people were asking, how am I getting so much success and results for my agency clients? And it was because I was incorporating the universal spiritual principles that I was learning as a healing arts practitioner. And I was blending that in with the corporate world and, getting massive results for the clients that came my way. So then when it came time to take this online and have, this ecosystem that you're in now, it was like, okay, how can I help more people across the globe get access to this information to get similar results, and having to bottle up my own signature formulas and methods. So if you've been in my community, some of you know I have a PR star formula. A lot of you have heard about my Shine Online Mastermind program, where I have 6 pillars to shine online. So really being able to bottle up our magic is one of the most important things of being able to have and make that impact in the world, right? Because if people can't get you, they don't understand you, they don't have a framework to see you within, to understand like you're the solution I'm looking for, then it's going to be that much more challenging to connect with those people that you are destined to serve in the world. So this is all about making it easier, more graceful, more joyful, right? More results with less effort, right? That's, so much of what we do here in this community. So, another big piece I would say for importance, right, of the why. So we've talked about amplifying your authority, your impact, obviously your audience, right? Growing who you're connecting to and getting in front of at the right time, at the right time, in the right way, with the right message, right? So there's building, right, your online profile to grow and have an engaged audience and community of people who are clamoring to work with you or connect with you for whatever magic it is that you're bringing into the world. And another big why, I would say, and let's get a yes in the chat if you resonate with these things so far. If those are things you would like, right? The authority, the credibility, the impact. Let's also talk about the raising of the income, right? Focusing more on income generating opportunities and, making more for less of your time, right? This is also about scaling your time and energy, right? So when you do all of these things together, those are the results I see my clients have, is they get to make more income. They get to have perhaps less clients while making more, right? If your thing is getting clients. We also have a lot of creatives here. So I know anytime I say clients, for the creatives who don't also have consulting or coaching or service-based businesses, if you're here and you're a creative, just please transition clients to the word audience, right? Because it's very similar. If you're growing your audiences, right? That's very similar. Nicole, can you please make sure everybody is on?
No problem.
Hey, by the way, tomorrow, I have a dentist appointment.
Sorry for that, everyone. Yeah, so please, if everyone can just make sure they are on mute, that would be fantastic. Okay, so moving on. So we have, we're talking about this why. So, well, first and foremost, I want to see let me see the yeses. Do we get a yes to all of that? Are you guys tracking with me? Like why this visibility, this PR piece is so important? All of the reasons we're talking about, right? Amplifying your audience, your authority, your income, your impact. Yes, we're getting yeses here in the chat. Okay, good. Love it. Okay, so really important in this process is having your, obviously your purpose clarity, but next is your message clarity. So that involves being able to identify your core differentiator. So how many people here feel like they have something that makes them unique with the work that they do in the world? Feel free to pop a yes in the chat. And if you feel like you haven't quite been able to identify what that is yet, go ahead and just pop a question mark in the chat. I just want to see, kind of gauge where everyone's at who's actually here today. So are you feeling like very confident in knowing like what is unique about you? Or are you still kind of trying to figure that out? I'm seeing some yeses, one question. Okay, yeah, like there's, it's okay. Wherever you're at is perfectly fine. So then the next question is, do you feel like you are accurately conveying your uniqueness? We can call that your core differentiator to the world, right? Are you able to concisely encapsulate that magic, that uniqueness that you have that only you can do in the world and the way you do it? Do you have the words for that? Do you have the ability to convey that when you're speaking to people out there in the world, whether it's writing, speaking, if you're already at the stage where you're pitching media, whether that's new media or mainstream media, like how comfortable are you with that piece of it? So yes, absolutely. Everyone has something unique to share. I totally agree, Bertie. Yes. So that is, we can a mix again, yeses and nos, not as on target as I'd like, definitely needs work. Right. So it's great to just see where you all are at who are here today in the room with us. So really, this is something we can look at quickly, is figuring, giving you some prompts to start thinking about this and figuring it out, because this is going to be where everything starts. So when I work with people, like the three main pieces we work on are your positioning, right? Like how are we putting you out there in the world in a unique way that helps you stand out from the crowd and be seen as the global expert you already are, whether you already have stepped into that role or you're on your way to being seen that way. Like we speak our reality into existence. So I am a transformational business coach for transformational experts. So all of you have some gift that you are doing, something about you, whether it's your past experience that's brought you to where you are today, whether it's your signature method or framework or formula. There's so many ways to start talking about what is that thing that has you stand out and makes you unique and different. So for example, I would say, something, and it's taken me time actually to even get my own clarity as I moved into this online world about, okay, what is it really that I'm going to own as my core differentiators? So what I typically say is that I'm an award-winning publicist, visibility expert, and transformational business coach, right? So you want to be able to say who you are and what you're doing in a couple of buckets. You don't want to give them 12 buckets, right? You want to give maybe 2 to 3 things that you identify as your expertise. And then you want to know who you're serving, who is your ideal person. So mine is helping purpose-driven and heart-centered entrepreneurs, mostly consultants and creatives. And what is the thing? Land in the mainstream media is a big part of why people come to me. And the method I use, high-level organic marketing strategies. This is how we do it. And the other big key part of this is that this is from a holistic and spiritually aligned place or approach. So for me, it was really figuring out, okay, coming from the corporate world, the entertainment industry, the PR and marketing world, right? But also having a background in the healing arts and being a healing practitioner and hugely focusing on my spiritual path in my life. So it took a little while, but it was like, yeah, that is the core differentiator, is that I do strategy, high level, organic PR and marketing strategy from universal spiritual principles, right? Like merging those two worlds of strategy and spirituality is not a common thing when you think of working with a PR person. right? So that I know is what sets me apart in a very big way. Also, it's about specificity, right? So we could say award-winning entertainment publicist who incorporates universal spiritual principles into her teachings to help entrepreneurs step into the mainstream spotlight for higher visibility, impact, income, authority, right? All the things. So I want you to start thinking this way about really looking at like, okay, what are the things up until now that have made me who I am to stand out and be different as a core differentiator in my own verbiage and marketing and positioning as I'm talking about what I do in the world. And that is what's going to speak to your ideal person and create that magnetic effect. I call it the magnetic marketing effect, where people just start to flock to you because they get you. Okay, so let's see, is this giving a little boost of clarity for anyone? I'd love to see how we're tracking here. Is that helpful to those of you who had some of the question marks, like starting to understand a little bit more about how we start to identify your positioning and your core differentiators, like what makes you unique? This also a great way to figure this out is talking to your clients, like past clients or audience or community, people you've helped, even if you help them for free, and find out what was it that made this a unique experience for you that helped you in a unique way that hadn't happened for you before. So a lot of times you'll get those answers from the people in your community or the people that you've worked with. So yes, I see. Peaches says, yes, helps a lot. Awesome. Great to hear it. Okay. So we've talked a bit about why this visibility and publicity piece is so important. We've talked about the first step of really knowing and understanding how to establish your positioning with the core differentiator in the world. And so the next thing that's really important that I want to touch on today is your, what I call visibility blind spots or blocks. It's the places where you struggle with putting yourself out there in a bigger way. So who here, and just, you can put a Y in the chat if you resonate with this statement, like I recognize that there is something that has held me back from putting myself out there into the world in a bigger way up until now. So if anyone resonates with that statement, let's hear a yes or a Y. I see some Y's popping in the chat here. Yes, absolutely. I know this because I even have that, right? Even though I'm a visibility expert, we teach what we need to learn, right? I stayed behind the scenes in my business for 2 decades. I was like, nope, it's not about me. It's about my clients. I pushed them into the spotlight. Then when I started my online venture, it was like, okay, well, no one is going to sell you or what you have to offer in the world better than you, right? So I had to take my own medicine. I had to put myself into the front of my business, into the spotlight. And I always laugh and tell people that I wasn't even going to have my photo on my website. That's how much of an introvert behind the scenes, hiding in the shadows, non-visibility person I was. I was very good at putting other people in the spotlight. So this is really where, it's a journey for all of us. And it's pretty much a never-ending journey, right? I mean, there is a point where you get to that pinnacle of visibility and success. But we all know, I mean, you've heard it from very famous people, even the most famous people on the planet, there is something that still, might stop them or give them qualms or insecurities around putting themselves out there. I think Michelle Obama has like a whole documentary about it, right? Her own imposter syndrome. So we know there are these things that are stopping us. So this is where we get into more of the business energetics and your own alignment, where we have to look at where are you stopping yourself because of something that's in you that's keeping you in the shadows, behind the scenes, playing small, right? I've had to face all of that for myself. And every time I do more and step out more, it's like leaning into that edge of discomfort. And we do it anyway. And it's all about practice and just starting to do it. The next time it's a little easier. The next time it's a little easier. So I always say practice, practice, practice. And the best time to plant a tree is today. So if you have something that you know has been blocking you, you might know what it is. I'm a perfectionist. I'll say that's one of the most common ones I encounter. I have a lot of high performing people, especially the women that I work with, high performing professionals that are perfectionists or recovering perfectionists. I'm one of those, right? It took me a little while to let go of my perfectionism in this space because online, especially, and tech and all the things, it moves very quickly. And there are a lot of glitches that happen. And you cannot be a perfectionist in this space if you want to succeed. It's about how we respond to those things, right? When the tough things happen. I did an Instagram live collaboration yesterday with a dear friend, and she couldn't get onto the live for the first 5 to 10 minutes. So we just had to roll with it. And finally she got on. So sometimes those things are going to happen. So when we think about our blocks, right? Can anyone think of something they know? I'll rattle off a couple more. So we've got perfectionism, imposter syndrome, analysis paralysis. There's so many ways to go, so we don't go anyway. Compare and despair. Oh, someone's already doing it better than me. Fear of judgment, right? What are people going to think? I'm worried about trolls, haters, right? What are some of the things that you know are things that you are consciously aware of? Some of the things we're not consciously aware of, and that's where the deeper energy work does come in and the alignment pieces. Yeah, I'm seeing some come through. Yeah. Not liking how you look, right? Going through transition and change. What if I do it wrong? Right. Being modest. Yeah. And that's where also like that modesty piece too is, or anytime I used to say all the time, I'm shy. It wasn't that I was shy. It's just that I was not confident enough to put myself out there because I was questioning my own value and worth. I will say most of this stuff is going to come back to our value and worth issues from things that we've grown up with, whether it was when you were a kid or somewhere along the way, something happened, right? To make us question ourselves on a deeper level. I've had stories come out from clients where, one woman told me a teacher literally put her hand over her mouth when she was in like first grade and told her to shut up, right? So there are so many things that we forget about that have happened to us that are coloring our current experience and how we're presenting in the world. So this is such an important piece. My biggest, I would say, kind of wheelhouse or talent is helping people get really aligned and in touch with their visions for success and their visibility visions. And the more you can get in touch with that vision and what it feels like in your body, that's where things start to transmute, right? So, and it's a transformational journey into greater visibility because there are things that are going to come up and release, and you're going to shift, evolve, and change throughout this process. And I've seen it countless times with my clients. I've gone through it. I still am going through it, right? Every time we play a little bigger, those other things come up. Those blocks or blind spots. It's like, oh, here's another piece to look at. So give me a why in the chat if you're tracking this, if you're feeling this, if you can resonate or relate with the things that we're talking about here on things that are actually stopping or blocking you. I'm seeing some more come through. Don't want to become a meme, right? Like, what if you mess up or say something wrong and, you don't want to be made fun of or get canceled, right? All of these things. And they're very valid fears. Not having a structure in place, distraction. Yeah. Okay. And we're getting some yeses. So you guys are tracking. Yeah. There's so much that can stop us. Now, the other big thing that I find that stops people from getting more visible is a very simple thing. And it's very easy to work on. And that is just knowing the steps. So that's why after 25 years, having helped my own clients in my agency world, my own small businesses I've had over the years, currently now all of you, like small business owners in our current community and our current programs, and even getting to speak on stages where I'm able to reach so many people. It's like, okay, now this is the shift of being able to bring this information to more people so that you can be aware and resourced with the tools and resources of how to do the things, right? So those are the two main things. It's going to be something on either the conscious or unconscious belief side, right? Some sort of fear or limiting belief that is probably the main thing. There may be many things, but there's going to be probably one main thing that, we need to look at and address. And then the other side is just knowing the steps, having the strategy, right? So when you get aligned, when you clear what doesn't serve, and then you implement sound strategy, that's when things get much easier, right? Things start to land easier. There's a place for things to land. I know for everyone here, like the prosperity piece is so important. If you are not currently generating the income that you want to be generating, it's got to start with that inner work piece. So stop chasing shiny new objects, thinking, okay, this strategy is what's going to do it. That strategy is what's going to do it, right? There's a million strategies out there. But if you can first get that alignment piece, then implement some very simple strategies, you can get there. And it happens for my clients. We do this all the time. It's getting focused on that big thing in your business that is going to get you to that money monthly goal. So we're not ever just getting visible for the sake of it. We're getting visible with a purpose. And that is for you to be able to bring your gifts to your ideal person out there in the world and to actually be compensated for what it is worth, right? And so that again comes back to that worth and value conversation. So, okay, so as far as the blocks, let's see, is this helping anyone when are you getting what I'm laying down here? How important it is to clear these blocks through your visibility journey. Yes. Got some yes coming through here. Awesome. Okay. So the next piece that I want to cover with you today is the action plan. Right. So the famous quote, I love it. What is it? A goal without a plan is just a wish. Right. So we really want to think about that. Right. To me, that's absolutely true. Right. You got to have the plan and know the steps to implement. Right. Even though we are coming from a spiritually aligned place, we don't just yes, we want to be in a receptive mode. I do teach a more feminine way of being and sales and marketing, but you still have to do, right? You're taking inspired action. And when you are doing inspired action that is customized to your strengths, your goals, your desires, your wants, right? And fitting what lights you up. This is never about just doing strategy to do strategy. This is about finding and doing and implementing in a way that feels good to you. So that's whenever I work with people, it's 100% customized to their journey, right? I'm never going to tell you to do something that you don't want to do. I might invite you to stretch because sometimes those places of discomfort are the places we want to lean into sometimes we have to go through the fire to get to the other side, but it is on your own timeline. We don't ever push people. I liken it more to like lending a hand, like a hand up, right? If you want to take the hand, we'll take you there. It's never about pushing, right? We don't want to get into that energy. Okay, we have, let's see. Okay, we're talking about the action plan. So really getting clear, on what are the steps you are going to take to get yourself more visible. Now, we could be here all day if we talked about all the types of, paths and tools and strategies and ways you could get visible, how many there are, but I will just kind of keep it at the bird's eye, since we don't have all the time in the world, to talk a little bit about what are some of those ways that you're going to do it. So really, there's 3 ways, and that's either going to be through your writing, your speaking, or the media. These are the organic ways that all of my clients get visible. Now, as I said, within each of those, we have laundry lists of things you can do to get the visibility. So even when you look at media, you can break that down into new media or mainstream media, right? So new media is thinking like podcasts, blogs. Mainstream media, that's you're thinking magazines, newspapers, TV, radio, the places we grew up with. And now, of course, all of those have online versions as well. So the new media it's such a fantastic opportunity and place to start. That's often where we start with our clients, right? Getting them some of those lower hanging fruits. Also, if you look at writing, contributing writing, that's another lower hanging fruit. And if you think about even your Instagram, that's almost contributing writing. You're contributing to your own platform, but that's, the writing, like we all kind of have our own blogs going. If you've done a long post on Facebook, right, you could actually take some of that and convert it into a blog on your website. So there's so many ways to go when you start getting into this. The writing, the speaking, the media. So speaking, is speaking opportunities. That's a big part of PR that, whenever you come to a PR agency, we're looking at how are we going to get you editorial opportunities in the media and how are we going to get you speaking opportunities. So whether that's speaking on panels, at events, on stages. Of course, with the online space, we have our own platforms. The theme we did on the Instagram Live yesterday was called Create Your Own Global Stage for More Impact, right? So there's so many ways, and a lot of you are doing that. The thing that I'll say is that everyone is doing social media, and that's amazing. It's so great that we have social media, but they're forgetting about the PR piece and the PR strategy. The PR is the glue that holds all of your things together. So that's connecting promotions, advertising, marketing, digital marketing, social media, right? So the PR is the pie, and then all of those things are pieces of the pie. So that's where we come from, this holistic place of your positioning, you getting to be all of who you are in your own uniqueness. And so many of the people in my community are also multi-hyphenates, right? So I know a lot of you are doing a lot of different things and get confused on how do I put myself out there in a way that makes sense, right? And trust me, there is a way to do it. we always find the way. And getting to be all of you, and then making sure that that positioning is consistent across all of your platforms. So again, we come back to the action plan, right? Knowing, okay, which of all of these paths and opportunities and possibilities am I going to take? And how am I going to take them from an aligned place that feels good and keeps me in the energy and vibration and frequency of my visibility vision, my end goal, right? So that it lands, it comes with more ease and grace, it comes quicker, right? So that's the plan it's vital. So alignment plus action plan, right? Working on growing your audience, your community. We say that community equals currency, right? Having community plus connection equals currency, right? All the C's. So really, how are you doing your own profile building in an aligned way that really speaks to your ideal audience out there? And so I do have a gift for you today that I want to go over to just share with you how you can start using this information and getting yourself out there like really quickly. And I just am curious if anyone has any thoughts, questions, concerns. Bertie says, easier said than done. I'm not sure which part you're referring to, Bertie, but yeah, anyone that has any questions, thoughts, concerns on anything we've touched on today, feel free. You can pop them in the chat there. And I'm going to go ahead and also put this link in the chat for you all. And we'll make sure we add this over in the Facebook group as well, but I'm going to say it, and it's a very easy link to remember. So here it comes. Okay. So yourbestpitch.pro is one of my hottest, I would say probably the number one gateway drug and tool that I share with my community to start getting press. And that is, you're going to learn my pitch formula through this, like my no-fail pitch formula, how I actually secured a spot for my client in the LA Times. And it's a tool which we've touched on before in some of these classes too, called HARO, HARO, helpareporter.com. You'll get all the info when you download this template. And I'm going to show you how to start using this tool in your business. So it is a tool where media are looking for people like yourself to comment in their stories. And it's a mix of new media and mainstream media. So I've had clients get really incredible wins, like in national magazines. One client, she got a spread. They had her come down to New York for the photo shoot and everything on her first pitch to HARO, one of the opportunities that came through on HARO. So we do have lots of great success stories. And, if you're struggling with how to use it and all of that, that is where, I have, I think you'll get informed about it in the emails, but I do have a product that is going to give you my top 10 hacks on how to get results through that. So if you want to get that, that's something you don't have to get it, but if you wanted to upgrade, I think it's like $27 or something. But really just, this is one great tool to get you going. And of course, if you step into any of my other programs, like my Inner Circle, this is the more detailed trainings are included. And you would get that if you came into either my Inner Circle or my Shine Online Mastermind. And I will say, if you look at a mountaintop or an iceberg, this is just like I said, this is one tiny piece of all that we do and all that you can do. And one tiny piece of the big pie of getting started and getting going on your visibility journey. So it is a much bigger, deeper transformational journey that does require that alignment piece, plus having the right strategy and having the right plan. So with that, I am going to offer anyone who wants to hop in and have a complimentary PR action plan call with me to just go ahead and write "I'm ready" in the chat or the comments, and we'll make sure that we reach out to you and get you on that call, which is not a sales call. It's a give of just us connecting and seeing, where you're at, where you're trying to get to, and what some of my best advice would be for you along the way. Of course, if there is interest in connecting or working together, then absolutely we can talk further about that, but we would do that in a different call. So I'm going to actually also put, for those fast action takers who are here today, if you want to just click to book in and get on the calendar, go ahead and do that. I see some readies coming through. Awesome. So yeah, make sure also, I see some of your names. I don't know if some of you, if you're in our email list, that's great because we can find you in our database. If you came in through another channel like Facebook and we're not connected, please make sure that you either put your full name in your Zoom right now so we know your name, then we can find you on Facebook, or you can put your email in the chat here, if you don't want to do everyone, you can do it privately to Nicole. And that way we'll know how we can reach you. You can also friend me on Facebook. I'm easy to find, Heather Burgett. And, or if you're an Instagram person, you can DM me over on Instagram, same at heather.burgett. And so, yeah, so I'm happy to connect with you to support you in whatever way I can and getting the ball moving here for you, the needle moving. And the other thing I want to just make sure everyone's aware of is that we also this year started something new, which is I've been really, phasing out my agency, my done for you services, where I used to be maybe 50-50 of my time. And my goal has been to move fully into my online programs. So we are at a point where that's happening, we're scaling. So maybe 10% of my time is now in my agency world, business and done for you packages, but we still do have some media services available. So if you're the kind of person that's like, I just want you to do it for me, then go ahead and write amplify in the chat here. And then we will be able to reach out to you about the media amplifier packages. Those are done for you. Oh, great. And Nicole, I see she's on top of it. She's giving you my Facebook to connect with me, and also our group. If you're not in our free online community yet, feel free to join us over there. I have lots of free events and workshops and things that I do for the community. So that would be a place to kind of keep your finger on the pulse. We also try to keep people on our email list apprised to what's going on as well, without bombarding you too much with emails. And I think the last piece that I would cover today is also that we do have, I do a virtual masterminding party every month. So that is for high-level masterminding with purpose-driven entrepreneurs. I see a couple of people here who have been to our recent events. If you haven't been yet and you'd like to get an invitation, then go ahead and write mastermind in the chat, and we'll make sure we get you that info on how to get invited to the next one. We just did a virtual beach party. This next one is going to be an endless summer party. And we just try to make it casual, fun. I mean, I guess we don't try, we do. As Yoda says, try, there is no, right? So we have really connected gatherings about business growth, purely about giving and receiving, connecting deeper with the people that show up. And it's just a nice give that we do for our community on a regular basis, so that people can not feel so alone on this journey, right? There's a lot of lone wolfers out there. I've been one for sure. So we want to help people feel like they're not so alone on the journey. Oh, we're getting a shout out from Nancy too. They're awesome. Highly recommend. Thank you, Nancy. So, okay, beautiful. So I like to do these power hours and just come out and feel into what's happening on the day. And then I speak from my heart. I really just trust what's coming through is meant for anyone here today to hear. There was probably something, hopefully some gem in there for you today, even if it's just one thing to shift your trajectory. I think I've been told that's my gift to the world, is a course corrector. And even if I can just help you with that 1 degree shift, you might end up in a whole different country by the end of your journey. Right? So course correction is a big part of it. It's just those little tweaks and shifts and alignment that often can take things to a whole different place and level. Okay, so Milani also says highly recommend. Thank you for the shout out. Cool. All right. I see we've got some people wanting to come to the next party. Wonderful. Okay, any other thoughts, questions, concerns? I don't think I'm seeing anything. Hopefully I didn't miss anything in the chat here. Let's see. I'll just take a little scroll here. Oh yeah. And then, oh yeah, that's right. Nicole's reminding me as well. It's such, a big step for us and big news for us. And we're just kind of starting to let the world know about it, is that we've partnered with a funding company. So we now can offer funding to our clients who are eligible. And for me, as a woman business owner in the marketing PR space, like online marketing world, there's a lot of these bro marketers out there, like these big guys in business that are, they're doing their multi-million-dollar events and all of these things. But recently, like getting to speak on stages with some of those, those guys. And then also now partnering with a company that a lot of them partner with. Like, I feel like we're kind of entering that big boys club. Like, we've been scaling our own business, as you've heard, like over the past, especially since the beginning of the pandemic, I went all in, really. So it is about leaning deeper into your own calling and purpose. And I find that when we do that, that's when the magic and miracles do unfold in a bigger way. So things I wouldn't even have expected or imagined that, suddenly we would be partnered with this funding company, which is like a really incredible thing that now we can offer in our own business ecosystem. And it's life-changing for some of our clients. So yes, if you're interested also in finding out more about the funding, please write funding in the chat. And Nicole is putting in the chat the pitch template link again. That's yourbestpitch.pro. And let's see, seeing any other questions come through here. All right, we got lots of people to talk to. I see lots of things coming through. Nan is commenting up here. Fantastic. Okay, so yes, we'll definitely be in touch with those of you who have expressed interest in connecting with us. And I think it looks like we're not having any other questions coming in. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone's, but it's already actually streaming into the Facebook community. So feel free to keep the conversation going over there. If you want to comment or ask questions, I will definitely go back in there and check those later. And Nicole, for one last link here, is just dropped the booking link in for the PR Action Plan call. Okay. All right, everyone. Well, we did it. The Power Hour, mission accomplished. And you are very welcome, Linda. Thank you for coming out. Great to see all of you who showed up here live, and great to see any of you watching on the replay. Please hashtag replay below. Let us know, answer questions, comment. I always love to see who's playing all out when we do these events. So I'm going to send you all on your way with lots of love and hugs and kisses. Mwah. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.